Hey guys, it's Russ the RowdyDawg. I'm here with Matt Kelly of the Knight's Path, and we've got our demonstration dummy here. Not really. This is my dad. This is Wes Godfrey. He's 83 years old. And we're going to have some demonstration here today. This is part 2 of our self-defense training for seniors. And Matt Kelly's going to run us through some techniques that he can use, that we can all probably use, to defend ourselves when we get out to the grocery store, go to whatever, out in public, things we can do to defend ourselves. And we're going to get started with that now. I'm going to hand it over to Matt and kind of let him run the show, and we'll get started. You ready?
I'm ready.
Matt's
born ready.
Matt's going to kick on you a little bit, so get ready.
I'm gonna be Wes's Uki, which means I'm gonna let him put some stuff on me. But first, I think it's important for everyone to understand that there's a time and a place to put violence on another human being. You have to sort out what that is. You have to sort out what the consequences are. You have to sort out what threat level you're at to be able to, because we're not applying pain here, because people react differently to pain. So, and I'm gonna present probably more principles than I am techniques. We will get into some techniques and we will get into some targeting, but for every technique or for every technique, there's a counter. A principle can save your butt. So we're going to talk about principles. So one thing that we're going to go over is, I'm going to go over some body stance stuff with you, and then I'm going to go over some body positions of where you're strong and where you're weak. And I'm going to use you as the example, but then you can also do the same thing on me. Okay? So if you come on up here, Wes, you don't mind if I call you Wes? You want me to call you Mr. Godfrey?
I just assume you call me Superman, but
okay. Wes, all right?
Wes is fine.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is have you stand about where I am, and I want you to face this way. Okay. So one thing I want to talk about is, and this is, balance. So if you draw a line between your toes and your heels and the outside of your feet, that's your base. That's your platform. Okay? As long as your head is above that, you have balance. Okay, so I'll kind of do the same thing. If I draw a line between my toes and my heels and the outside of my feet, everything in here is my base. As long as my head is above my base, I have balance, right?
Okay.
If I go like this, I'm off balance, even by a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And if I were to try to lift something from here, I'm either going to add some strain to my back, or I could pull myself off balance. You see that, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to just kind of start getting that vision now. And I look at it as ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip. If you've got that line,
Okay.
then your spine's in that good S alignment, that S curve, which is good spinal alignment. I have good spinal alignment and good posture if I have ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip. Now I can also maintain that line if I wanted to do a hip hinge, or I wanted to kind of bend down, but I'm still maintaining that line, ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip. So this is kind of like good, safe lifting, but it's also a good principle. And the reason I say this is we're going to do a demonstration later where I'm going to have you sitting in a chair and I'm going to be like a bad guy and I'm going to be leaning over you. Now, you already know that I'm off balance. If I'm leaning over you and I'm leering over you and I'm a bad guy, you already know that I'm off balance based on that principle I just shared with you guys, right? Now, I want you also to be able to start picking up on where my weight is. So if I got most of my weight on my front leg and I'm leering over you and I'm off balance, this might be the knee you want to take out.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so
Now,
this
is facing him, or you over his?
well,
head?
okay. Like if he was
In the front.
if I was in the front leering over,
Okay.
hey, give me all your money, old man,
Gotcha.
something like that.
Okay.
So this is something that's easy for you to start picking up and training your brain, no matter how old you are. You just start looking. I can see this from a mile away. I can be at a Home Depot, a Walmart, and I can go, that person's off balance.
Oh, okay.
Ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip.
Okay. So that's your first. That's
Yeah,
your
I start
first
looking.
cue.
I start looking. Well, I do it for safe lifting. So because that's my trade. I'm a health and safety guy.
Yeah.
So if I see someone doing a lift like that, I'm like, oh, stop! You're going to kill your back because it's an off-balance lift. And there's some other things. Now, the other thing that's interesting about your feet, if you draw a line between your feet, this line right here is your line of strength, power, and balance. So get a little bit of a wider stance in here, okay? And bend your knees if you can, and then put your arms out like this. Now, your arms are in line with your line of strength, power, and balance, okay? Now, think about this. This is the line, if you wanted to tug of war, you're strong along this line, right? If you wanted to push the door in with your shoulder, you're strong along this line, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull on you this way, and I want you to resist me by leaning the other way, okay? All right, you're strong along this line. Now I'm going to push on you to try to tip you over that way, and I want you to push into me. You're strong along that line, right?
Okay.
Now put your hands in front of you like a triangle, okay? Now what this triangle does is this creates a point, and it draws a line perpendicular to your line of strength, power, and balance, right? And I know that this is the line to real easily pull or push you off balance.
Okay.
Okay, so you can relax, you can shake it out.
Let me ask you something. We're talking about the distribution of weight. What's on now? All us guys, a little long in the tooth, have a projection that's out here. Do you have to compensate for?
No, so like you still have your feet, right? So like normally you might have, you're still going to have two balance points. Now you're instead of the middle of your foot, you may come up a little bit forward here on your toes because you have a little bit of weight that's kind of pulling you down.
But so you're not there yet. So
but you're still going to have 2 points balance.
Okay.
So instead of the middle of your foot, instead of the middle of your foot, your balance might be more towards the middle, between your toes and your arch.
Yeah.
So your point of balance, but still you got 2 points, and your line of strength, power, and balance is still going to be along those 2 points because we're bipeds.
Yeah.
Right.
Still, your brain automatically balances you to your distribution of your weight.
So it's important for you to understand that one, I'm strong along this way. This is my tug of war line. This is the line I push to push open a door with. Because I've heard two things growing up in Texas. I know you guys are Texas boys too, right? Now you're in Oklahoma. That's all right. That's right. But I heard two things growing up in Texas. I heard square up to it, and I heard put a shoulder into it. Put a shoulder into it's smart because I'm strong along my line of strength, power, and balance. Squaring up to something, maybe not the best idea.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to get our work as close to our line of strength, power, and balance as possible for us to be stronger than we normally would. So I'm going to do something with you. Now, if you haven't gone to the gym, you're not packing on muscle and stuff like that, right? Well, look at that. Yeah. That's good. But if you get to a certain age, I'm going to show you some things where you're going to be stronger based on your body positions. Okay. So what we're going to do is, one, you know that you're easy to knock off balance perpendicular, right? Like I just showed you that with that triangle movement. Now, the other thing is that invisible line that's perpendicular to your line of strength, power, and balance. If I work directly over that invisible line, I'm weak compared to another position that I'm going to show you. Okay, so what I want you to do is get a little wider in your stance, a little bend in your knees, and then I want you to put your hands like this. Okay, you don't have to be out here. You can kind of be back here where you're a little bit stronger. And if you notice, you're working directly over this line of weakness, right? That invisible line that's perpendicular.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to push down on you. I'm going to try to keep you from pushing further higher than where I place my hands. So what I want you to do is just to apply pressure to my hands, and I'm going to try to keep you at level. Okay, go ahead. What do you feel in your heels?
Oh, man.
You feel your heels coming up off the ground a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have you change your stance, and you're going to become that much stronger.
Okay.
You're going to become like 2 or 3 times stronger just by changing your body positions. So what I want you to do is I want you to step forward with either leg, whichever one you're comfortable with, a good, healthy step forward. Yep. And then bend that knee and put your arms right here again. Now we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to hold you at level, and it's probably going to be a lot harder for me to hold you at level. Go ahead. Yep. Look at that. He's got a lot more strength.
Yeah, my heels aren't coming.
Yes.
So he's got.
So if you stay right there, go back to that position.
Okay.
What happened is your work is here. Here's your line of strength, power, and balance. Perpendicular to it is here now. And what you did is you got your work closer to your line of strength, power, and balance.
Wow.
So instead of working over here, you're working here. You went here and you basically did this, or you did this, and you got your work, which is this, closer to my line of strength, power, and balance. So the reason you can relax, the reason I say that is I want you to understand, if I try to do a technique to somebody and I'm in the wrong position,
Oh, yeah.
I'm fighting against myself.
Right.
So I want you to take a step forward towards your work or towards your person you're trying to injure to defend yourself.
Just the opposite of what you would normally do.
Right,
You step
because
in.
you want to step in. One, you're strong. The other thing is, how much do you weigh?
Way too much.
But you mean, let's say it's 190.
200.
Okay, 200. So here's the thing. When you're getting your weight into a technique, gravity doesn't care if that 200 pounds is muscle or it's fat or a combination there in between.
Good.
If I put 200 pounds into, and I'm in a strong position, and I put that weight into a technique, I got that 200 pounds working towards me. I've got the strongest position based on my line of strength, power, and balance. There's a lot of good things going for you.
So you
Okay,
use that extra weight.
right. You absolutely can use that extra weight.
So
So
this
that's,
fat.
so this is
Yeah,
an asset.
Yeah,
That's your
that's what
asset.
I'm saying. That's an asset.
Mine too. I've got an asset pack.
Yeah. So you get that movement towards you.
But a lot of you guys have an asset pack, right?
And here's the thing. If I take a 200-pound sandbag, or let's say punching bag, and I swing it, and I let it hit me, and I let it hits me square, and that 200 pounds is all dispersed over a great period of a great distance over my body, I'm not experiencing 200 pounds in any one given spot. It's all displaced wherever it all hits me.
Right.
Now, if I take a 200-pound rod or pole and I swing it, and I got just about that much of it that's swinging and hitting me in one spot, that's going to hurt a heck of a lot more. So that's what we want to do, is we want to get you to be able to pinpoint certain points of the body on the human being, okay, to then be able to get all that weight moving forward you and being in a strong position. That makes sense.
You can use your weight and a single point to drive that force into a single point, which create more reaction, or more pain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So the other thing I want to talk about is reaction versus action. Okay. So I do this one video on how reaction time can beat action, but it's like super high speed ninja stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
But then I do another test on it, and really what it boils down to is there's ways to defeat that. So I'll just cut to the chase. The ways to defeat someone trying to harness their reflexes to be able to react quickly, based on a reaction. The ways to do that is movement. So what I want you to think about is, if you are in a threatening situation, I want you to put your hands up. Okay?
Okay.
Because for witnesses and everybody else's cell phone, you want to put your hands up. The other reason I want you to put your hands, and I want you to move your hands. So I want you to, and it can be something like this.
So when you're being threatened,
Hey,
hey,
because
whoa,
what's
whoa.
this look like to the public, right?
Yeah, they're going, hey, this
Hey,
guy's in trouble.
hey. But the other thing I'm doing this for is, whenever I introduce movement, it's easy for the body, and we can throw my videos up here, but it's easy for the body to react to something stationary to movement. You can harness reflexes pretty easy if something's still, and then it comes to you, because that's how you're walking through a field, the grasshopper comes up the corner of your eye, you do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
That's reflex.
Yeah.
Now, guess what? Spiders, praying mantises, geckos, or chameleons. What do they do? A lot of them.
Oh yeah.
They introduce this movement, right?
Yeah. Right.
Hey, I'm just the leaf blowing in the wind, man.
Yeah.
And then you see that praying mantis goes, right?
Yeah.
So we can learn from nature.
Wow. Okay.
And the thing is what this is Now,
So
the body can pick up on something going from a stationary position to a moving position. You know, you can pick up on that with your peripheral vision.
Yeah.
But we're going to learn from that praying mantis. We're going to learn from that spider. We're going to learn from that chameleon, right?
Okay.
So what I want you to do is I want you to get your hands up here like this. Hey, I don't want you. This looks really good for the public. The other thing is,
So that to the public, that's going, hey, this guy's in trouble.
hey, this guy's, hey,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The other thing it is,
It's distracting your guy.
yeah, well, you're going to, when you strike, if you wanted to strike, okay, you're taking his ability to react reflexively out of the game.
Ah,
Gives you an advantage.
oh, okay.
The other thing it does
Because he's
is,
distracted by the movement.
well, and he hopefully he's not going to pick up on it. This is really like, you know, hey, you
Well,
look
you're
here.
already there, ready to strike.
And then the other reason for it is, go ahead and put your hands up. The fastest distance between 2 points is what? A straight line. So if he's going for the neck or he's going for the eyes, by me putting my hands up here, I'm that much closer.
Oh, okay.
That's the other reason I want you to do this.
Closer
One,
to
it
the
looks
target.
good for the public.
Yeah.
And then the other reason is I'm going to start, you know, I'm going to use his inability to react to me to my advantage. I'm going to learn from nature, that praying mantis, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, hey, I don't mean, and then there's a couple of things I can do. And we'll talk about targets here. It's going to be eyes and it's going to be throat. And then we're going to do an exercise where you're going to put me on my ass, because I guarantee you,
Oh, good.
if you put something on me, you're going to be able to walk faster forward or run faster forward than I can do backwards. Because here's the other thing I told you guys. Remember, ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip, right? Ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip. And now guess what? I'm off balance, even by a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Now, do I walk forward better or do I walk backwards better? Forward. Yeah, because I'm designed to do this way.
Yeah.
So guess what? When you're here and you displace my balance, now I'm not ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip anymore, right? And now guess what?
Yeah.
Mother Nature and gravity are telling me which way to put this guy. You know, plus I can attack a really good vital spot.
Yeah.
And then all I have to do is just start moving forward and walking forward. And I can walk forward faster
Yeah.
than you can walk forward faster than I can catch up, you know?
Yeah.
So those are some really good things. And then guess what?
Plus,
You're not-
so you're closer to your target.
Well,
right?
you're
So
not-
You don't have to come up from here.
Right. So if you're here and you're like, hey, don't, you know,
Yeah.
they might be able to see, you know,
React to that.
you know,
Yeah.
and then you could get caught on whatever if you're stepping. So
Yeah.
you're up here,
Yeah.
you're doing subtle things at first. Hey, don't mess with me. And now we're going to start attacking things. Well, I'll talk about the different targets in here.
Okay.
Okay. But the other thing is to displace balance. You want to stack. Give yourself as many advantages as you can. One, you know, I wouldn't want you to try to stick me where you're like this. So you got to step into it. You're going to draw that line towards your work. And then it's not just a pop and a go. It's not,
Yeah.
you know, it's a
Keep
stick.
going.
It's a stick, a punch, and a push.
Yeah.
So it's like jousting. You're going to push and you're going to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep moving forward, and you're going to have my ear beyond my shoulder and my hip, and I should not be able to catch up. And guess what? If I started to catch up, then what you do is you don't just draw a straight line from here to there. Okay? As you start walking, yeah, you go.
Yeah.
So it's not just me drawing a line to the horizon forever, but this guy could eventually maybe fight or whatever. It's drawing a line and then drawing a straight angle, and I'm going to let gravity help me hit him with the earth. Make sense?
Yeah. That's good. Great sense. Yeah, that's good.
All right.
I like it. Cool.
So
You guys get that? All right.
let's talk about targets. Okay. So when you're here, okay, the easiest thing I would say to do is an ox jaw. And what an ox jaw is you're just basically coming in here and you're just coming in here. And I'm not trying to grab anything at this point. I'm just open hand, just going right for the middle of the throat.
Step in.
Step in,
Throat, and
yep.
keep going.
Step in, yep. And keep going. So it's step in, it's drawing that line, and then, you know, it's just me just pushing and going.
The biggest thing is you've got to step into that.
You have to step in.
Step in, so you've got your.
And I want
strength
you,
over the front.
and I want you to move through me. So you're going to have, and I don't care if I knee you in the nuts on my way through or whatever. It's going to be me just pushing. That's what you're going to do to me.
Okay.
Okay. And there's a couple of things that's going to happen, hopefully, but you're not going to wait around for those to happen. You're just going to start going. But if I'm sitting here, I'm using a couple of these techniques, and you pop me good, but then you keep going. You're going to displace that ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip. But oh, did it lock up?
It quit.
Okay.
This one's still going over here.
Okay.
Damn it. I had some kind of notification that made it stop. Damn it.
Well, it's good we got the other one.
Yeah. How do we turn on here? I'm gonna do this.
Now you get this guy going
I heard that ding.
and you get him down on his back. And then you turn around and run like hell.
That's right. Yeah. So if
Unless you got a gun.
yep. If you've got enough of a lick on him, what's going to happen? You know, he's going to hit his head potentially. He's going to be discombobulated, and you're going to use that time.
to get away.
If you did have a gun, because that's the other thing. I'm not a good enough practice gunslinger to probably sit here and go, you know, some guy comes up to me with a knife and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I'm probably going to get cut, right?
Yeah.
So hey, dude, don't, and I'm going to do something, and then I'll gain that distance.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Or move through, throwing, gain my distance.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. That makes sense?
Yeah, it sure does.
All right. So there's two targets that I want you to think about. One is the eyes. So there is the eyes. Now this is no BS. I'm not messing around. If I went for the eyes, we're not going to go for the eyes on me. I did bring a face shield if we wanted to practice, you know, you just doing a quick strike, which we could. But the eyes, I want you to understand, this is serious. Your life's in danger. Guy's got a knife to your throat. You're sitting here and you're like, you want to inflict so much damage on him that his desire to cut you in the throat and take your money is not as powerful as, holy crap, I'm a human being that's now being blinded and I can't see, and you can use someone's reflexes against them. The innate human ability to protect yourself and to protect our vision as an animal is going to override. Now he may, you know, cut you a little bit, but it's, you know, you don't know what he's going to do to you regardless.
Yeah.
So you might as well, you know, try to inflict some damage. But if you are going to go for the eyes, step into it. And I want you to think about this. If I push my fingers through an orange, or if I push my fingers through a pumpkin, it's on a post.
Yeah.
And I keep pushing it through, and then I slam that pumpkin to the ground. That's exactly how I want you to think about poking someone in the eyes.
That's how, if you're going to do it, then
Right.
you need to follow through.
Right.
Don't stop.
And the other thing is, like, if I'm doing that,
He's gonna kill you
if I'm doing that thing where I'm leering over you, you know, in the chair, you know, and we'll talk about that too, where you could maybe throw a knee, you know, and I'm going to grab your head and I'm going to stick my thumb in your eye socket. The way to poke out an eye is to go right here, grab the jaw if you can, and squeeze.
Ooh, it's like a hammer.
Yeah. So if someone's leering over me and I wanted to take out an eye, and I want to grab the head, kick the knee, and then they're right here. It's going to go in right here. I'm going to grab the mandible and I'm going to squeeze.
And their automatic reaction is to push into that because you're kicking their knee.
Yeah,
out.
they're like this, and all of a
Drop.
sudden now you're cradling their head, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? My brain's trying to figure it out, and before I know it, you're poking my friggin' eye out. I'm gonna. You see what I'm saying?
That's fight or flight right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to say, "What'd you do to me?"
And
He's gonna get the hell
it's
out
going to be the last thing he potentially thinks of when he's sitting there going, "Hey, old man," and you're going, "Hey," and you've already started to practice. Now, this is a skill you can practice. Oh, that guy's on his left leg more. He's on his right leg more. That guy's off balance. So there's a lot of homework here where you can really. It's mental exercise. It's the what if. Hey, that guy's ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip. No, they're off balance. Oh, they're doing this. They got all their weight on that knee. If I came here, you know, right?
Bust his knee out, make him drop.
Right. So,
Well, even that, Matt, would make him rethink.
Absolutely, and it's to try to you know, get someone to not bother you anymore and go away. So let's look at some of the targets in the neck and some of the reasons why. So I want y'all to think about from the ear hole down to the front of the neck. That semicircle is all gold.
Okay, all the way
It's
down.
all gold in here. Okay, you got something going on. I guess it's on the cloud.
I don't think that'll get in the screen.
Okay, that's cool.
It shouldn't get in the screen, but never know.
But yeah, this is all gold in here. So you have a huge bundle of nerves that come out of your brain. This is called the brachial plexus origin. It's a huge bundle of nerves that comes out of your brain down in here. And this is the brachial plexus tie-in where it starts to break up here. It goes down into my shoulder. Some of that nerve goes into my arm. Some of it goes down. It ends up tying into my body, into my common peroneal, which is this big nerve on the side of my leg. I don't know if you guys in high school, when someone would Charlie horse you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's called your common peroneal nerve.
Yeah.
Okay. And someone can hit that hard enough to where that knee goes down, and then you get a sympathetic reflex in the other knee. So if someone hits that hard enough, they can.
So the other one goes just as a.
But guess what? It can all originate from the common peroneal. If you hit this hard enough, boom, nerves go both ways. That's the beauty of nerves.
Wow.
The muscle is a great conductor of energy. The fatter someone is, the more fat cushion you're going to have to try to go through, right? So yeah. But if I had a big fat neck, it's going to be hard to hit. If I have a muscled up neck, you know, it's going to be a lot easier to hit that common peroneal nerve.
So if you hit somebody right in here, it's gonna knock their knees out?
So this is more on the side of the neck. So this is if I just came in here and just like came in here, or if I put my weight into it and I came in here, boom, that's the side of the neck. But really what I'm doing here is I'm trying to, the target is real. I'm not trying to pop the throat necessarily to break the windpipe. If I do that with this one, I can.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's kind of what we're going for. We're going for a lot of stuff with this one. Okay.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm cupping my hand, if I wanted to break the windpipe, I'm probably going to do a chop or come in here or just try to get some hard surface.
What'd you call that?
An ox jaw.
Ox jaw. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The ox jaw.
But I want you to understand this too, because you could come in here this way, or I could come in here this way, or I could come in here this way and hit this common peroneal nerve. I mean, this brachial plexus origin nerve. So that's one. And you can sit here if you want to. You can sit here and just kind of chop on it. But nerves travel both ways. You're going to feel some stuff go in your head, and then it's going to go down. And if you get hit hard enough there, you're going to get lightning bolts in your head. It's going to travel down. You could get that sympathetic reflex, and I'll just show you. It's feel? And that's me pulling it. Now imagine if I went boom and I tried to cut through your body.
You're down. You're done.
Okay.
You're down.
So there's that one.
Yeah.
Now
Make sure.
that's one. Now as we move here, and that's just a bundle of nerves. Now as we move here, we got some arteries. We got the carotid artery in here. There's a response called the vagal response. Okay. And you can get hit in here. And what that does is it does two things. It can interrupt blood flow to your brain, because we're talking about there's the carotid artery. I think there's the jugular, and then there's some nerves in here too that kind of break off and come away from that brachial plexus origin. So you come in here, you can get hit here with a fist or here, and it could be a dimmer switch. So it can change the blood pressure in your brain, and it can also cause a fainting response. So we've got this one here on the side of the neck, and now if I come here, I got the vasovagal response. Okay. And if I came in here and I just chopped that one, you know, it can knock somebody out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could, and if it disembobulates or whatever.
Discombobulate,
yeah. Just enough, you can escape.
Right.
You can leave the area.
Right.
Okay.
So
or continue on and take them out.
And now here's the other thing I want y'all to think about with so we're trying to do a couple of things here, right? So I'm trying to get the greatest amount of damage that I can. So when you look at my fingers, remember I told you from the side of the neck all the way here, I've got damn near 3/4 of that target area I talked about here. and I got kind of small hands, right? But if I do a shot and then I just step into it and I keep going, I've got this. I could hit maybe the brachial plexus origin. I could hit the vasovagal. I'm going to get some interrupted blood flow.
Yeah.
Because I got a couple of different veins and arteries that are going into my brain, which my brain's going to think, oh shit, there's a drop in blood pressure. You know, let's dump some blood into different areas from my brain to my body because there's a drop in, must be a leak down there because I'm not getting blood to my brain. So I can cause a response there. Then the other thing is, just like I talked about reflexes, do this with your windpipe. If you pop your windpipe,
Gag reflex.
yeah, it's a, right? Especially if you just come here and
Good.
you hit somebody. So we're doing a lot of things here, right? So now I can use your innate human, ability to protect your wind hole, what gives you oxygen.
Yeah.
Because if you got pop, it wouldn't take much for me to just I could just sit here with the back of my fingers and pop you in the throat. Hey, I don't like that. I don't like that at all, right? So what you're doing is you're rewiring the attacker's brain from an offensive mindset to a he's thinking offense, and then something unexpected happens. You're stacking the deck in your favor. Hey, man. Hey, right? Don't mess with me. I got some movement going. And then all of a sudden, you're going to step into it. You're going to use some of it. You're going to do work here.
Yeah.
So you're going to step into it. You're hitting a large array of target areas that can give you some success. Make this guy go, oh shit, I'm rewiring my brain. Plus, I got ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip. I'm going to displace his balance, and I'm going to run forward more than he can run backwards fast. I'm going to use gravity, slam him to the earth, and then and then I'm going to try to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Or gain some distance, put some things between me and him, grocery carts, aisles, people, whatever. If I have a gun, I'll draw it, whatever.
You might want to kick him in the nuts before you leave.
If you wanted to try to stack, if you
Keep going.
so if you wanted to try to stack damage, you could at that point.
Especially
But
if he's got a gun or a weapon.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So that's the other thing. If he had a knife and you put him on the ground and you see that knife clatter to the ground, you might want to pick it up.
Okay.
But if you got up and I wanted to do a stomp to his head,
Yeah.
Now I don't necessarily want to kick him. I don't want to toe kick him. I don't want to soccer kick him. I can break my foot, but I might not want to. It just depends.
Well, you should break a few ribs too.
You could do a knee drop on him as well.
Yeah.
So if you feel like, and we'll talk about knee drops, because there's three target areas I'm going to talk about.
Older fella,
We talked about
knee drops.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to get back up on your feet.
So we talked about eyes as being certainly a viable target. We're talking about this one. The other one's the groin, but there isn't anything necessarily wrong if I felt like I could do a knee drop on a guy and hit him in his floating ribs, poke some of those ribs in affect the system, respiratory system, right?
Yeah.
What is my success with that? The thing I try to steer clear of here is this is armor.
Yeah.
This is skeleton. This is meat. This is bone. This is chest. Depending on how big the guy is. I don't care how big a guy is. He's never going to put muscle over his throat.
Yeah.
He's never going to put muscle over his ear. Yeah. Ear's a viable target as well. I would want,
because it ties into all these.
Yeah, there's another nerve right here that you can hit. Okay, but I would say you can come in here. You can start doing some open hand.
Flat, you can flat
cochlear
down
nerve or something.
Well, you can also
Displace balance.
Yeah, and there's one right here. I forget what it's called, but I'm not necessarily gonna. You hear about this pocketing that I'm not gonna. I'm gonna want to use a hard surface.
Oh,
Okay, because the thing is, so I'm gonna want to use, and this is where you got to kind of practice.
Yeah.
You got to practice some of these, but I'm gonna take what's available to me. But understand, when I hit someone in the side of the head, in an ear, it's the same theory behind going this way. I'm going to ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip. I'm going to displace that balance. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to try to keep driving.
Yeah.
And I also know that if I hit him here, I'm going perpendicular to his line of strength, power, and balance. I may have a hell of a time trying to push him over this way because that's what I did when I was doing the arm pull, right?
Yeah.
So when I do this one, I might want to hit and then alter it and go this way, or hit, pull. and then throwing this way. But I might want to get the hit and then pull, throw, or hit, grab, and
Just make
push.
sure you get him off balance. Right, biggest thing. Probably pulling forward would be the best.
And here's the thing. Here's another thing to think about. How am I stronger? Am I stronger here or am I stronger in here?
In here.
You're stronger in here.
Okay.
We all know this when you try to tickle a kid. I'm not chicken wing you. I'm not chicken wing you. Get them under the armpit. They're hard as hell, right? Because you're strong in here.
Yeah.
So understand that is I'm going from a weak position, a strong position to a weak position here. But the way I'm going to succeed in that is I'm going to step into it and I'm going to drive and go. So to your point, if I come here and push, I better start driving with my legs, or I come in here and I'm strong and I can pull someone to me. And that's kind of what that chair thing we're going to do is if you happen to kick a knee and you get me into, you gouge my eye or whatever. Okay. So Russ, here's what we're going to do. I want you where Russ is. Okay. Russ, I want you kind of back here like this.
Okay.
Because you are going to run this way.
Who's gonna run?
He
He's
is.
gonna run.
He's going to push me. You're going to catch me because I want you. You just made this. What I really want you to. I don't want to fall on your knee. So I just want you to be able to. Chances are, let's scoot over a little bit more. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stand here, and I want you to get in position. And what I mean by that is I'm basically going to let you stand like this, and I'm going to have you put your hand on my throat.
All right.
Okay. Now we're going to say you already struck me. You already did the trick. And then really what I want you to do is I want you to just start walking fast.
Okay. Okay.
I want you to extend your arm and start walking fast.
Okay.
And I know what's going to happen, but chances are I'm not going to be able to catch up to you.
Okay.
And then Russ is going to catch. It's not going to let my head hit something.
Okay.
Okay. So I want you to take a good step forward with your left leg. Put your right arm out here. Okay. And I'm the bad guy. And I was here. And you're just going to start walking and hauling ass. Yep. Now I want you to be a little more.
A little more aggressive.
Yeah, a little more aggressive. So I'm gonna bear down. I'm gonna protect my neck. But I just want you to start. And here's the thing. You see, I'm perpendicular to my line of strength, power, and balance.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you really want to straighten your arm out, and you want to really get me past that, right?
Get his shoulders.
Yeah. And you just
Behind
want to come up here, and then just lean into it and just start walking your ass off.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, go. Yeah. See, it does not take much.
God, man.
Whenever you get him off balance, he's gonna go down.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wait.
no. I knew it was good. So that's the thing. I don't want you to pussyfoot around with it.
No.
You got to be committed. And this is slow. This is control.
Yeah.
This is just one half of it, right? But I want you to realize you at a good brisk walk.
Yeah.
I can't catch up to you, especially once you break me past that ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip, right? Once you get that, you own my ass, right? It's like,
Now, see, there's one thing that I did that last time that I wasn't doing the first time. We said walk. Well, I was trying to keep like this.
no, yeah,
Trying to show him. No, yeah.
Doing this.
yeah. Do
So,
what's natural.
yeah,
Do what's natural,
yeah.
right? So do a brisk walk.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did.
Yeah,
The
that's,
second
and
time,
you
and
see
that's
what
when
you
it
did.
got- Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're doing this, is this natural? Maybe
No.
if we're fencers,
Yeah,
But
but
And a guy, an attacker, he's not gonna expect you to do that. He's gonna think you're an old guy, you don't know what, he's
I am an old guy.
defenseless. Well, I know that, but you're defenseless. He's thinking you're defenseless. So
Yeah.
he is completely off his,
Yeah.
he's not gonna be in a defensive.
No, I
He's
understand.
not gonna have his
Yeah.
foot forward waiting for
Yeah.
you to do something.
so we're gonna replicate that one more time.
Okay.
So we're gonna do the same thing.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna show you some tweaks.
Okay.
We're gonna do 2 tweaks and then we're gonna add them together. And then we'll pause, catch our breaths, and then we'll be ready for some
All
other
right.
stuff. Okay.
All right.
So again, get in position. You're gonna get your hand where it is. And then like from here, I want you to extend. You're really gonna displace my ear over shoulder and then just start walking forward whenever you're ready. Yeah, that's good.
Well, I'm all right, aren't
Yeah.
Superman. Okay, so some nuances. There's two things I want you to add to this. One is look at the neck here.
Yeah.
The neck is a hinge, right? So, right? So if you see that, so what I want you to start thinking about is not just coming here, because I can get a strike here, but I want you to almost try to cut through my head and have my chin. See that joint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want you to
Oh,
pop it.
You want him to do that to you?
No, but he's just gonna add some force.
Oh, just.
So he's not popping me from here.
Okay, he's not
So
coming
he's
here.
just coming here. And what I want you to do is I want you to do this. I want you to think of an angle like this,
okay.
and then an angle like that as you walk.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you're already going to be in position, but I want you to, and it's going to depend on their height. Now, if you can't do that or you can't think about it, the most important thing is to go perpendicular to the neck, displace that balance. Okay, and then I want you to let gravity help you. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to do the same thing, but this time I want you to go up. So before you were coming here and just going this way, right?
Yeah.
Now this is just a little nuance.
Okay.
I want you to go up for one step and then down.
Okay.
Okay? Because what that's going to do, it's going to come here and see what happens. Like, look at like just me naturally. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm coming up on my toes. It's almost like, so if I come here, now you've got me rocking back on my toes, and you're going to come up for one step, and then you're going to push me down.
Okay.
And that's where I can slap my head and all that other
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
And you're letting gravity,
Yeah.
get gravity work for you.
And your body
So-
weight is, the force is gonna, your body weight
Yeah,
is gonna
you're-
help crack
You're
your
letting,
head on the
yeah,
seat.
you're letting gravity, and then you're moving on.
Using
So-
your attacker's body weight against it.
Since I'm altitude challenged, the going up like this won't be that big a deal for me.
No,
But if somebody was as tall as you, see, they're gonna have to think about doing that, aren't they?
right. Well, and the thing is, if you're up here, you know, the eyes may be, depending on the situation, we're not doing the eyes, right? But we're doing, you know, I think, I don't know how small you'd have to be. You could still, you know, you may have to do some things, you know, and that may be something I kind of think about here, is trying to break somebody down.
Yeah.
But could I conceivably push Russ, if I grab Russ's belt and I pushed him here, and I've got a real good firm of someone's belt.
Yeah.
So I could grab here if I was altitude challenged.
Yeah.
Grab a belt and come here
Okay.
and just start running forward.
Yeah.
Right? Like I could sit here and go, hey, I'm sorry, and I could look sheepish, grab the belt, push the chest. I displace that ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip.
Oh,
I
yeah.
might have to be a little slick, a little practiced, a little more ninja with that versus just be going here. I want to
Yeah.
try to keep it
Right.
simple.
Yeah.
Simple, yeah.
But you know, I'm 6'2". How tall are you?
5, probably 7.
So
I used to-
you got no problem popping me with an ox jaw and coming up, because raise your arm. You don't even have to push my neck up that high,
I got
right? You only have to, and I want you to think of an angle here and here. And I really want you, once you start walking, I want you to go step 1 down.
Okay.
Because once you hit him there, he's gonna start back. He's gonna start coming back. He's
Okay.
gonna start coming down
Okay.
anyway. You're just helping him come on down.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically that hinges.
Okay.
You show mine.
All right.
That much quicker,
Yeah,
right?
man. Now that was fast.
Yeah. So that's the nuance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because see, before I was skiddling a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but now you added a little.
Just, man. I
Well,
like
how
that.
much extra force did that take
None.
to do? None. He's
None.
already
Yeah.
moving. He's
Yeah.
already moving.
I
You're just
just-
helping
I
him
just
get to the
pushed up
ground
some.
quicker.
And Russ is saving my ass from going,
Yeah.
trying to do some break fall.
Yeah.
Trying
The
to
only
do-
difference was on my part of that was just pushing up.
Yeah, you push up. So we don't need to sit here and go, hey, I'm coming in like some question mark crazy. It's
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And now think about, now let's get you in position. Now let's get you going. Let's get you right here.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to work on the first half of this.
Okay.
So what I want you to do here is I want you to do your hands, and you're going to step forward and you're going to put your hands on the side of this, where my neck would be.
Okay.
And I want you to sit here and go, hey man, hand, and step forward, and then just start walking.
Now, is he trying to do that forcefully?
Yeah, so you're trying to do this, I don't want you to do it on me,
Okay, no.
Yeah.
right? But I want you to start thinking about putting it all together, because that's one part of it. That's the devastating part of it. But now I want you to harness your reflexes and go, hey, don't hurt me, go, and then I want you to take that step.
Yeah.
Okay?
Matt,
So-
let me ask you one thing. What you do is, if you want to do this as soon as possible in this confrontation, right? You don't want to wait and let this guy, as soon as you're confronted, that's when you get ready and you get.
And this is where you have to do the mental
decision
drills
quick.
and exercise to, it's the what if. So here's the thing. If I'm sitting here talking to you and I'm holding a tennis ball, okay? Well, actually, I'll do it right now in real time. Okay, Wes, I'm bullshitting with you. At some point in time, I'm going to throw my hat to you. I want you to try to catch the damn thing. Okay, so this is a what if game.
Okay.
He just came to the what if scenario. What if Matt's sitting here talking to me and all of a sudden he throws his hat to me? Okay. Now, if I've done this in class before too, where I'm just sitting here talking to people and I don't even tell them what I do. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? You're throwing your hat at me. But then I say, hey, let's pretend I'm trying to. So what he just did is based on a what if scenario.
He already knew.
He already knew what to do. Yeah. So here's the thing. You got mirror neurons in your brain that don't know the difference between your subconscious or your conscious.
Okay.
Okay. So that's why Olympic athletes, Michael Jordan, all these guys, they visualize a lot. They see themselves running the race. They see themselves making that 3-point buzzer, game-winning shot and things like that. They're visualizing. And there's so many studies on earth that say, that they've done across that say there's so much that mental exercise. So here's the thing. If I think about a and I talk about this in active shooter, if I think about, if I hear a bang, and I can do this in my house, I can do this at work, I can do this out in public. If I'm at a restaurant with my daughter and I'm in the corner and I hear a bang come from here, before that bang happens, if I hear a bang, I'm going to tip this table over, I'm going to grab my daughter, we're going to get cover, I'm going to maybe throw a cup of water, I'm going to be grabbing my gun or whatever it is, I'm near an exit, I'm going to come up with some A, B, and C contingencies. And I'm going to do that pre-thought. Why? Because I want to be prepared. Because here's the thing, if
Everybody should do this.
Yes.
When they go to restaurants, whatever, just practice these scenarios.
Now this is just
top of mind awareness.
Right.
You're surrounded.
What have I always done when you go to a restaurant?
Oh,
you're back.
He wants to sit in the corner.
Yeah,
back.
absolutely. Because here's the thing, if I hadn't done any of that pre-thought,
Yeah.
when the shit's hitting the fan and I'm trying to come up with strategies in real time, while the fight and flight responses are happening, I'm behind the 8 ball. When I'm trying to come up with scenarios in real time when the lead's flying, I'm not going to be able to think clearly. If I've done the pre-work and the pre-thought, I don't have to think, oh shit, bad stuff's happening. There's the exit. Let's go, honey. So here's the thing. You have to know in your mind what is justifiable to take someone's eye, when someone is of a threat, and you don't want to wait around.
Yeah.
If I've got a knife to your throat, I'm sitting here, hey, old man, and you're like, hey, there's the neck. Boom.
Yeah.
And you already have some success. You already know, and then just the strategy. Here over shoulder, shoulder over hip. I can walk forward, I'm going to come here and go there. I'm going to come here and go there. There's a lot of things. If I was going to, where's that guy? Where's he leaning? Where's his knee? Where are all these different targets? So to your point, I can't give you the answer to that. That's the shitty part, right? Hey, Matt, you're this big guru guy that maybe knows a bunch of stuff. You have to decide when you would employ this, when you would use it.
When the threat is.
And it's not going to serve you good if you just do this one time with me and then 6 months down the road, you're like, oh shit, what did Matt teach me again? Right?
Yeah.
But let's work on that first hit. And I'm going to feel some good, so when you're here doing this, step forward and give me a good hit, like you would pop me. And I want to feel the strike of it. And then of course we know the back end of that. But I want to get at least 2 repetitions in before we move on to other stuff. Okay, and again, you know what you're going for, right? And let's say I just caught you and I'm sitting here, hey old man, and you just kick the living crap out of that. Oh yeah, you see that? Yeah. You see, you popped me with that. So that's good. That was a good hit. So if you saw my head do this, and there's all this shit ton of padding between you and me, what do you think that would have done to my throat?
Are you ready?
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
No, that's great. No, I was ready.
I guarantee you an attacker is not going to be ready.
Oh, I know
Right.
that, but
Exactly.
but we're just practicing here. And I didn't
No, but this is good. So
This is
let's
good.
go back to your hands moving,
Okay.
and then like stick the crap out, and then like take a few steps. Go ahead and step through.
Keep going.
There you go. Push it up and down.
Keep going.
Stick the crap out.
All right.
This is real world scenario. Think attack.
There you go. Good.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
So that's putting it all together.
You know, I had a little practice with some of this stuff because when I was young, I used to go to these knife and gun clubs.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have a knife or a gun, they issued it to you.
Okay. There you go. I like
know
it.
it was roughing and stuff. You had to kind of sit where, when it all started, you.
The gunfighter seat, you know,
Mhm.
back to the wall.
Yeah.
Facing
Well,
the
or
door.
whenever the sugar shakers and the ashtrays and beer bottles started flying, you're back in the, by the wall, or you don't have to
Yep.
be hit with all that stuff.
Yep. So we've got that one.
Okay, that's
So we
something,
got the
that's
eyes-
something all you guys need to practice. This is the ox jaw
Ox jaw.
right here.
Yep.
Practice that.
Step in.
Don't just take this video. Everybody should be practicing this in your house. And when you go out in the public, you'll have this in your arsenal to defend yourself.
And it's something that this is better than nothing, but I also say if you can find a qualified instructor or something like that, somebody, and I'm going to give you some links to a guy that's phenomenal online, surviveviolence.com. Tim
Okay.
Larkin, he's amazing. We'll put it up there.
Okay.
He's got absolute gold around this subject, and I'm a super fan of his. So
Tim Larkin.
he knows exactly what he's talking about. And actually, and I did this myself, is you can go to surviveviolence.com and you can get 4 videos, and it's a master class
Oh,
that he puts on, and it's free, and it's 4 modules, and it gets you in the mindset. So I'm kind of talking a little bit about mindset. It's hard to get a lot of stuff in here in just a short amount of time that we're here together.
Right.
Really what I want the audience to think about, I want you to start thinking about, start thinking, start looking at, so here's the thing with the human.
potential threats.
Yeah, but the human is, now the human can be attractive, it can be ugly, it can be mean looking, it can have a lot of muscle, it can have a lot of things. But really what I need to understand is there's a skeletal system that I can attack and I can break. There's certain targets, knee joint, doesn't matter how big you are, the knee, I can't put armor and meat and muscle around my kneecap. I can't put it around my ankle. I can't put it over the top of my foot. If I wanted to do a knee drop, think what's going to happen to the arch of my foot if I take a 45-pound weight from this height and just drop it. Chances are it's going to break the living crap out of several bones on the top of my foot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can you do a knee drop, bam, on that spot, and could I disable it? Yeah, but I probably wouldn't want, a man who can't walk is a man who can't fight if he's, unless he's got a gun and he can shoot at me from the ground. But if I did that to Russ, then I might want to, stack damage. If I came down here and knee drop, bam, then I'm probably going to want to stand up and hit him in the groin with my elbow. And then when I come up and his head comes around, then maybe I'm here, bam, bam. And then if I got him bent over like that, gravity's telling me which way to go. If I got someone bent over like this, I'm not going to go, well, I could if I really want to do it. But probably my easiest thing to do is if gravity's telling me ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip, bam. And guess what? I could just almost lay on his back and do a belly flop, and I'm going to crush the living crap out of that guy. And again, it doesn't matter if it's muscle or fat, it's weight.
Yeah, weight.
Right? So really there's a lot to think about here, but I want to start opening everyone's mind. Skeletal system, okay? There is a nerve, there's a nervous system. I start talking about the brachial plexus tie-in and the basal vagal response and some things. There's a circulatory system interrupting that blood flow, and there's a sensory system, right? Which is really, so if I can take out an eye, if I can affect some respiratory stuff, some nerves, some blood flow, and I'm getting the most bang for my buck with and think about it, head movement's one thing, the neck doesn't really move that much.
No.
So this is a really, really good target. Plus there's, different things I can come in here.
Let me ask you something.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm here. And Would this be more effective than anything else?
So,
Would it be as effective?
so with this right here,
Yeah.
where's your line of strength, power, and balance?
You'd have to step into that. You definitely want to step in and do that, but you're not.
Okay. So
And again,
Whether that could be effective.
and again, how strong am I coming here versus coming from a strong position?
oh, okay. Yeah.
You don't,
Yes,
you don't
I got
have leverage.
So that's some fancy ninja stuff.
Uh-huh.
But you know, if I wanted to just come here and just start walking this way,
Yeah.
fast,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
So you know,
That.
now if Russ bear hugged me and he's got me here, then there's certain things I can start boom, 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 doing.
Yeah.
You know, if I want to come here, but probably one of the things, if Russ bear hugs me and he's going to try to slam me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to gain some distance. And then while he's trying to hold on to me, I got all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. I'm going to start stacking damage.
That probably, who does it? If the guy was doing this, he probably wouldn't have enough power.
Right.
You know.
No, you don't have any
to
power.
make any difference.
Right.
So, yeah.
Even if you stepped in, you still don't have.
Okay, I just.
The only thing I would say about this movement here is you would be strong coming in here because it's like that kid.
Yeah.
You would be super strong in here. So if I was in here and I wanted to grab a head and bring it in here, I could be really strong in here, and then I could turn the head and I could start grabbing that. I could really, yeah.
That'd be.
So I could be strong coming this way, but it's going to be more of a hey,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
get his eye.
Grab the jaw and get your.
But I got to know exactly 100%.
And let
Be squared away with the criminality of it. When I do it, it's not something I do flippant. You got to do all your research. You know, you got to know exactly when you are in grave danger of imminent bodily injury and you are in fear of losing your life is when you would do these things. And you have to know exactly when that is, you know, because otherwise, think about this. If I come up to you, I say, give me all your money, old man. Do I want to kill him? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm using a knife.
I'd say that's imminent
It could, absolutely, it could be.
potential for death. Yeah.
It could be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also, you know, give me all your money, old man. Oh shit,
Same deal.
I'm at a disadvantage. Now, am I going to try to do some ninja shit, or am I going to try to maybe just throw my wallet on the ground, distract him with that? You know, I don't know. You got, you know,
Yeah.
you can come up with a million different things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we've got, you know, and I tried, and Tim will talk about this. You know, Tim, what are the big three targets? You know, my eyes, my throat, and then the groin's another one. Because you got the pelvic floor. If you can get a good enough hit, you know, it can make people they can't bear down pressure. They lose weakness in their knees. They'll go to the ground. It doesn't matter. Testicles are a bonus for guys, but you can really kick. But you want to, it's not just a kick and go. It's a kick. It's a knee to the groin and a walk through, you know, so it's all body weight. It's all body weight. So much of this stuff is body weight. If I was going to come here and I wanted to do a brachial plexus stun on you, brachial plexus origin, it's going to be me stepping in, hitting, and I'm not going to stop until I'm here. Okay.
Now, if
So
you're
it's me
gonna-
coming here and going bam and just hitting and coming through. And that's where, you know, you can use your body weight. You can even, but when you step forward, as soon as you step forward, it's weight and motion. And you saw,
And you don't stop. Keep going.
when I could not keep up with you when you were walking forward. Now imagine when you're scared and adrenaline's dumping and, you know, but this coming here and then going down, you saw how more effective that was. Just a little tweak.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the eyes, we've got the throat and all the different things there. There's a bunch of little things that we can stack in our favor but let's look at also you being at a disadvantage and you being somewhere and someone steps over. So these are just some things I want us to think about, because this is what I try to think about, just so y'all know, my brain. I try to think about the shittiest, crappiest position for me to have to deal with something, and I try to reverse engineer it from there. So for me at home, it would be if I'm on the pot, on the toilet taking a poop, and I hear my wife or daughter go, "Holy crap, get out of the house. Who are you?" Someone breaks into my house or something. What am I willing to do? I'm in the shower, you know, but it would suck if you're at a restaurant or you're just sitting here wherever, and all of a sudden there's somebody, this is you got someone leering over you, you know, and they're a threat, you know. Again, what am I willing to do? What kind of threat am I faced with? What do I know about the human body emotion?
And I'm not just coming up and say, "Hey man,
Right.
I'm in your face."
Right.
What?
No, so like if and like, well, you sit down, Russ. So if I was a bad guy and you're at a table or something like this, it might be me coming to the side of you or just coming here and going, "Hey buddy, listen,
Knife?
or whatever." You know,
Just
let's
push this
say it's a knife, right?
Right.
And if I'm sitting here going, "Hey man," you know, and now all of a sudden, you know, where
So your thought process has to be, where's his balance points?
yeah, where's my balance points? Now being off to the side, that kind of sucks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're going to look at a couple of things here. So one, get those hands up.
Okay.
Right. So if I come here and say, "Hey," right now, and what are we going to do? All right, so you start moving. Now, if this guy's got something here, again, where are you strong? You're strong in here. Okay. You're strong in here. So just pin your, look what he did.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you can slash you on the way down.
But if you're here and I come this way, you know, and this is kind of a gimmick. This is kind of a technique. There's a counter all this. I can't say 100% in this one, you know, because now if it's a gun and it's other things, but you know, if we're just looking at body position here, if I'm leering over him, you know, no matter where this is, okay, and your hands are up. So he's got two things to contend with. Okay, and what are they? One is I'm leaning into you. So if you can break my balance somehow,
Then you come in here.
right? If you can break my balance and I'm in here, now all of a sudden, control the head, control the body. And now when my head's in here, then you can pin the living shit out of my head to your chest.
You can get that thumb in that
Okay,
eye.
and then all of a sudden,
And then you can get that jaw. And
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jaw, and then you can pull him in and take that
Yeah.
eye out.
yeah. So here's the thing, someone's got a knife on me. I'm either dead or I can get cut and I can live. Chances are I'm going to get cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you'll survive.
Right. So, you know, no matter what's going on here, you know, if I'm leering over him, he may not be able to kick my leg. Maybe he could, but I'm not going to bank on it.
Yeah.
But if he's in here,
What about?
so again, this is, you know, you could do that 2-on-1. It's called hand fighting, where I get 2-on-1. If I can get that weapon, but first of all, it's like, dude, I'm going to come here. The most important thing I want to do, someone's got to, let's switch places. If someone's got a knife to my throat, and let's just grab a screwdriver, grab a Phillips head. Have to do that. Damn. Just grab like a little small Phillips head. I don't want to get hit with a flathead across my
What
throat.
about that?
That's fine. That's perfect. That's the one I was looking at. So if you're here like this and you're stepping forward and you're leaning in on me and I'm here like this, okay? So if I sit here and try to do some crazy thing, the most important thing is I want to get it in the quickest line possible. Yeah, I just cut my ear. Okay, now it's here. But now if I can get him in here and I can start thumbing his friggin' eye, you know?
Yeah.
But what happened to him? He came into me. So this is me when he's like this. What do I know about what we've talked about? Looking at ear over shoulder, shoulder over hip. He's this way. If my feet are crossed or whatever, if I happen to come here and if he's coming in here like this, maybe I could. But the most important thing for me is to come in here. You know, hey, dude, I'm sorry, and then I'm going to minimize the target. This is ducking my chin. Come in here. I cut my my face a little bit, but now he's leaning in, and I'm going to come in here and like my life depends on it. I'm going to pin this head and I'm going to take his eye. And does that? I cut myself with my own strike across the face.
Right.
His knife is down here where he can start stabbing the shit out of me. But guess what? I'm going to make him quit thinking about stabbing the shit out of me when I take his friggin' eye.
Yeah, he's not thinking about that anymore.
Right.
He's thinking about
Right.
getting the hell away from it.
Right.
Yeah.
And guess what? I did. It's called the Ooda Loop. And it's OODA. Fighter pilots use this. And it's observe, orient, decide and act. And basically what would happen is they observe an enemy fighter, they orient to where they need to try to break away or get a good shot, decide and act. And then what they're trying to do is they're trying to stay ahead in that OODA loop to where the guy's always in his enemy's always in a reactionary state.
Okay. He's always in
And that's the
defensive
thing. If
posture.
I'm sitting here and I'm going, hey man, and then all of a sudden you do something that I did not expect. Now all of a sudden you force me into a reactionary state of mind, and then you start doing things and you start stacking damage. I'm never catching up.
Yeah.
I'm behind the 8 ball the whole time. Does that make sense?
You automatically go take him from offense to defense immediately.
Right.
I mean, bam. And
Well-
they're not ready for that.
And then you start screwing with systems, skeletal. I take an ankle. I talked about that 45-pound plate dropping on the top of foot. If I did a knee drop, you know. So Tim Larkin talks about this one, and this is why he also, yeah, we can do this real quick. But yeah, have a seat. Tim Larkin talks about this one client he had where people are saying, hey, what about the ear? You know, what are my three? Well, it's eyes, throat, and groin. Those are the big ones, right? But there's also viable targets like the top of the foot. So he had a guy it was raining. He goes to his car. He opens the car door. A guy comes up to him. The door is between him and this guy. And this guy says, and the guy wasn't in his car yet. He had his door open. It was raining. And this guy comes up to him. The door's between him and this guy. And the guy puts a gun to his head. And this guy's, you know, getting ready to get in his car. He opens the door. This guy's got a gun. Here's the car door. So guess what?
So you've got
My eyes in the throat are no longer a viable target. The groin's not a viable target at this point. But what the guy happened to see was this guy's foot sticking out from the bottom of that. And he's like, that's my target. It was a target of opportunity. He does a knee drop on it. He breaks the guy's foot. The guy drops the damn gun. He falls to the ground. The guy doesn't stop there. He grabs the guy's foot. He brings it. He turns his knee to the side, and then he breaks it on the bottom of the door.
wow.
All right.
Yeah. What's he thinking about? He's thinking about
So,
attacking him.
right. So that was a target of opportunity. So we can say, hey, eyes, throat, groin, perfect, right? But it's really what are viable targets, and we start looking. If I can break bones. And he can't bear weight on it, but he didn't stop there. He stacked damage. And then he ended up, you know, the guy dropped the damn gun on his side of the door.
As soon as he
Broke
his foot,
and then all of a
I'm
sudden
sure.
he's like, ah, and then he still grabs the other foot, pulls it in, turns it to where he knows he can get
Yeah.
a
Turns
good,
it sideways.
yeah, turns it sideways, and then gets a good hinge break sideways with his knee. And then that guy's, because the guy's probably going, oh, my foot. And he's forgot about his other leg. The other guy's, bam, right?
Yeah.
And that was the last thing he
That
thought was
an
going to
actual-
happen.
That actually
Yeah.
happened. Wow.
And again, surviveviolence.com, Tim Larkin, amazing, amazing
Yeah,
man.
we'll put the links up.
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
description down below, guys, of the.
You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, that's the other thing too, is, you know, yeah, I'm a 10th degree black belt, but I'm an expert in my system. Am I an expert at violence? Not necessarily. Okay. I know my system. It was handed down to me by my instructor. That was fantastic honor. I have been in some dynamic application of techniques. I happen to know some things. I happen to have some success. But, you know, when we're starting to look, we start looking at the body and breaking it down, and we start, Tim Larkin's an expert. And then he even talks to guys that were in prison. So there's a lot of people that know how to knife fight and like quote unquote experts and stuff like that. But guess who I want to learn from? the guy in prison that's actually killed people with knives.
Yeah, the guy that's actually been involved in it. You got the mental.
So you could be a 10th degree black belt like me. I don't want to fight a guy in prison that just got out.
10 guys with a knife.
He's killed people with knives.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to screw around and he's going to go for the,
Yeah.
So all this posturing, all this asocial, stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
You
Guys squaring off.
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that
So,
crap.
I mean, you got to know when you're going to do it. If it's avoidable, avoid it at all costs. Your best thing before you get to this point, and by the way, if I get to this point, your head was up your ass. Right? What were you doing? Were you on your phone? Were you writing your check? Like we talked about that in your first one, you're sitting there writing your checkbook and your biggest proponent is to be left at bang. And there's a book, yeah, but also, to see it before it happens and to start, guys, body language tells us so much. That the
Situational awareness.
situational awareness, if something doesn't feel right,
Time to leave the
Yeah.
area.
right. Same thing with like
Your hackles come up or your hairs on the back of your neck come up like.
woman's on an elevator, some guy gets on, she gets a funny feeling. Don't worry about hurting his feelings, be embarrassed. Who cares? Get the hell out of it, right? So what I'd say for you is, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lean over you and I'm gonna put my hands on your chest, and what I want you to have your hands up. But what you're gonna do with, and I would say probably this hand, is I want you to just chop my arms down, and you know that you are strong in here, okay? So if I'm trying to tickle you under the armpits, just think about this, but collapse me, and I'm gonna come in here like this, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
But the first thing is, if I'm leaning in here, you start moving your hands. Don't hurt me, sir, don't hurt me, and then chop the living, but I want you to
Chop down on it.
come,
You want me to really?
yeah, I want you to chop down on it.
Okay.
Get that eye.
Okay, so,
Main thing is to hold it first.
Yeah, right.
Get both those arms around his head, hold it
Yeah.
down.
so once
So he
I'm
can't
here,
move.
you chop me down. And now what do you gotta do? You gotta pin this
Grab his
head.
head. Grab his head.
And now, if that means you're coming in here, and now all of a sudden, you work your
You
hand
work your
down,
hand down to get your behind his jaw.
and
in
you
his
got
eye.
this.
Oh,
And there's the eye.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, he can't move. You've got him pinned.
Yeah.
Because you're
And
in
he's-
your strongest position, right?
Yep.
And you're chicken
But,
wing.
but look put your hands up. If I'm sitting here, hey, old man, and you chop the shit out of me, go ahead. Look what happens. And now, what I did, and go ahead and hop up just a sec. And we'll Russ, you come in here. So when he's here like this, and you come in here, and I fall in this way, what I don't want you to have to try to do is go, well, let me snake this hand out and then come around. You're already, my head's here, you're already here. So then what you do is you just pin it. And again, I'm strong in here, right? Because this is where someone's trying to chicken. I'm strong in here. And now all of a sudden I can start trying to find, there's his nose. And I know if there's a knife, and then guess what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to hold his head and I'm going to go like this. I'm going to try to stab all the way through his eye.
Oh,
I'm going to try to stick my thumb out of the back of his head while I'm holding my hand here.
You're pretty strong right there. You're strong.
You're strong.
That's your
So
chicken.
that's the thing. Once you had me here, you just go here.
Yeah.
And if you want to make it, and I'll show you when you come down here. So don't just pin me here, grab the back of my neck and then pull me down. Because guess what? Am I stronger here or am I stronger here? I'm stronger here.
Yeah.
So once you got me here, and guess what? Bad guy may not fall in the same spot every time. So you're going to have to adjust fire as needed. Okay. But if I've slapped and my arm's already here and I've got someone here, I'm just going to come in here, pin, and then guess what? I'm going to get this back to a strong position. And then guess what that's doing? That's smearing and opening. That should be smearing my face this way across your chest, which then guess what? Opens me up for the eye gouge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's practice that real slow.
All right.
By the way, your dad's chest is like all jacked up. He's muscular, man.
He gets that from me.
So when you come here, bam, now from here,
Okay.
grab,
Pull it down.
and now,
okay.
yeah, look at that does. Holy shit! Now
There you
can
go.
sit here and
Oh,
turn.
Get that eye, yeah.
But I want you to grab.
The jaws.
Yeah, I want you
Find
to
his
grab
jaw.
right there. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So grab this is a handle.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and then all of a sudden, you're just going to go, boop, and you're going to try to stick that thumb out of the. You're not going to do it.
Not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it for real. But you see, he did what's called a neck crank. So when you came here, I was like, oh shit, I feel it. And that's what they call a neck crank in MMA. So if I don't get a good carotid artery choke on somebody and they're not tapping, I can start really get cranking and getting some vertebrae.
Yeah.
But when you came down here and you smeared my head, I was like, oh, it was a super strong position because, like I said, you're strong in here.
Yeah.
Why dick around and be with me way over here?
Yeah.
You know, you've already chopped me. I came into you. You come here and I just go,
Yeah.
It seems like
you come in here, you're strong, and now all of a sudden you're smearing my face across you. There's that thumb if you want, there's the eye if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what? You're going to do it as quickly as possible and not dick around.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I can start punching you in the nuts and all kinds of things if I have the wherewithal.
Yeah, if you had.
If I have the wherewithal. So you want to stack that damage so quick and so immediate to where I'm in that Ooda loop and you know, I can't ever catch up to you. I'm in a reactionary state.
Always
You're kicking my ass, kicking my ass. I'm like, this old man, this is not what I
gotta get out of here.
right. Shit,
I
my
gotta
eye.
get
What the hell
out
are
of
you
here.
trying to blind me? God, this is not going well. Right? So
I'm
let's do
sorry.
one other thing. Get your hands up. Hey, woman, get your hands up.
Okay.
And slap shit out of me. Pin it. Go this way.
Go
this
down,
way?
go down, down, yeah. And
Oh,
your
down
chicken.
like
Yeah,
this?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That's
That's
it.
your ear.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've had a hard time finding that eye.
That's probably a good thing. Doing what you gouge his eye out.
But once you come here, you're getting a really good neck crank on me. You
Yeah.
saw me like that's a natural thing. I'm like, yeah. I was tapping out just with the neck crank. No, but I mean, just saying that's an effective thing. So go ahead and hop up. And this will be the last one we do today. We'll just kind of talk about a little recap.
Okay.
But
Oh,
no, you're fine. Like y'all switch places. And we really don't need to, but what I want, and I'm not going to do anything on anybody anymore, but like, let's think about it. The ear, let's break this down to like the beginning of the lesson. Here's Russ's base. Draw a line between his toes and his heels, the outside of his feet. That's his base, that's his platform. As long as his head is above that, he has balance. Ear over shoulder, shoulder, now he's off balance. So from here, if I kicked and I pulled, you know, he's coming off balance. But then once he's here, what am I going to do? Right? So like control the head, control the body, right? But that's, and you don't have to do it, but like when some guy's leaning in over me, if I practice that, okay, he's leaning here. What is another, he's a tripod at this point almost. Now I was leaning on you, so I made it easy, but what if I was just not leaning on you?
Yeah.
You can still, right, come in here, pull. Now what happened is my head came in here. Instead of me trying to come in here and get him in a headlock and wasting movement, you know, I'm going to be that kid. I'm going to come here and clamp. Now, am I weaker here or weaker here? Stronger here or stronger here? I'm stronger here.
Right.
So now all of a sudden, I'm going to pin, and this is where you were really, I was like, oh shit, you're strong. You're strong as shit because you had me in a weak position.
Yeah.
And I'm stronger than you, just a guess. Just a guess, I'm strong,
Sure
just
you
a
are.
guess. But you had the advantage because you used your strength while I was in a weak and compromised position. And when you came here, you started bending my neck vertebrae, smearing my head.
That's when he started tapping. That
Yeah, I
means
was like,
you're supposed to
oh,
stop.
shit. But now the thing is, if you need to find the eye, you need to find the eye. So for me, you know, what you're going to have to do is you're just going to have to go, where's the ear?
Yeah.
And I'm in it. And if it's buried in here, it's buried in here.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're going to have to find it real quick.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's just practice and familiarization, because guess what? This is the first time you've ever practiced this, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? If you leave it at that, you're probably not going to be real good if you needed to do this when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
So it's reps, it's practice, it's slow, methodical practice to carve those neural pathways deep into your memory. And then it's also having the logic and the sight to be able to go, okay, here over shoulder, shoulder, he's off balance this way. There's a lot of shit going on. I'm going to attack the freaking eye, control the head, get away from me. And then that guy's going to pop up if you take his eye.
He's gone.
And that's the thing. I'm going to keep this here and I'm going to try to poke my thumb through the back of his head. My life depends on it. Because guess what? I've already got it squared away in my mind. I will take some guy's eye so I can see my wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And hey Matt, you're a 10th degree black belt. I saw you on Russ's video, and it's like, yeah, but it doesn't. I'm going to sue you because you took that guy's eye. I don't give a shit. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
There you go.
And I know when I would want to do it. It's not just going to be some macho, hey, I'm a badass. It's, you got a knife. I feel threatened. I want to get to my wife and daughter. Otherwise, and then I'm going to know if I let things get to that point, I failed with my situational awareness because that's my biggest key is to not ever get in that point.
Yeah.
Best way to win a fight is to never be in one.
Yeah.
Right. And then the only other thing I would say is the, and this, no, I think we'll stop there. Well, I'll throw it out there.
Okay.
The best way to win a fight, or the best way to fight the best way to win a fight is not being one, but the best way to fight somebody is if they're fighting you like this. I want to be behind somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's a gunfight or it's a fist fight. The best way for me to fight somebody, if Russ and I had to fight, okay, all right, Russ, we're going to fight, and here's the rules. You have to fight me with your back to me. Russ is going to go, that's bullshit. That's not fair. You're going to kick my ass, and I will. And then it's a gunfight too. Yeah, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a gunfight, or we're going to get in a knife fight, and I want to be here. So the thing is, this is a tank turret. This is where he moves. And he's good at moving forward. I already told you if I can displace his balance this way, I can go, you can go forward faster than I can go backwards. I showed you a little nuance there. But the other thing is when you were in the chair, he's facing me this way. But if I can't fight Russ like this, I'd rather fight Russ like this. And then guess what that was? That was this, right?
Yeah.
He's off to the side. Now all of a sudden I'm not,
Yeah.
So I was thinking my center line was facing this way when you had me down in the chair. So you're using a nuance behind, well, if I can't fight him this way, I'm going to fight him this way. If I can't fight him where I'm standing up this way and I can do this and I'm down here, well, I'm going to bring him down to me. Now all of a sudden you're starting to, so there's some theories and some principles. So remember when I go back to principles versus techniques, that was a technique, that was something, but the thing was control the head, get whatever, like when you had the screwdriver, get whatever could harm me out of the damn way, control the head, and I'm going to take an eye.
Yeah.
And if I know that, I'm not going to hesitate. That's my greatest success.
That's your training.
And that's the other thing. With all the information, well, Matt, why not just ox joe him in the throat and stand up because
Can't do it.
that's going to be hard as hell for me in a sitting position. How can I throw my weight in here?
Yeah.
And I can't draw my line of strength, power, and balance is going to where my hips are right now. I'm really weak in here.
Yeah. You'd never get up.
But to that point, there is a strategy where if I was up against the wall this way, this is my line of weakness is this way. And if someone's got a knife to me here, okay, I can do something similar and I can butt bump and then I can start drawing that line. Right? So even with your back up against the wall, in your quote unquote line of weakness is exactly where my abs are strong. Most of our abs are strong, and I can use gravity to help me. I can drop my weight. And then I'm going to start drawing that line and start going to work. And I'm going to try to force him on his ass as quickly as possible. So anyway,
There we go.
there's the line. There's the alarm.
There's the noon bell. Tells us training
The
session.
training session is over.
Excellent.
It's been great.
Yeah, it's been great, man.
Thanks for whooping my ass.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, come on up here. Let's look at you.
Thanks for coming, buddy. Okay, guys, that's our second part of our self-defense training for seniors. You guys need to practice this. You need to remember your situational awareness when you go to the grocery store, the bank, when you're sitting in a restaurant. Think about the scenarios, escape scenarios. Think about what you do in these different situations. Escape is always the best, but if you can't, then you use some of these techniques that Matt has brought for us. Remember, Matt Kelly, The Knight's Path, he shows a lot of good stuff on his YouTube channel and his podcast. Go check him out. And we're going to put the links to Tim Larkin.
Tim Larkin, SurviveViolence.com, and also TargetFocusTraining.com for sure.
Yeah, there you go. We'll put that up. Matt and I are also in the inner circle at Entre Institute. We want you guys to check that out if you want to learn about online business. Excellent company to deal with and work with. We're both doing it, and we're both doing very well with it. Great support, great training. And I'm glad you guys met my dad today, 83-year-old dad.
He knows some stuff now, Russ.
Yeah. Oh, I better look out. He'll whoop my ass. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for coming. Make it a great day, and God bless.